which was also my album release party,
Yes.
was the first time my father had ever seen me as who King David is.
Right.
That was something my dad kind of, just looked the other way, and we just, went about our business. But for him to be able to come to that event and see how people receive me, receive my music, and just who I've become, and the relationships I built with people, and him to be able to see a certain admiration or see himself in a lot of these things, it was very gratifying. So one, I just wanted to encourage anybody by giving y'all that full story of how that all looked, instead of just, oh, you have parents who support you and that's great. It wasn't always that way. But it feels amazing to have that, to be the bisexual. I use the word gay because it's an umbrella term, and it feels very like you're not hanging on to something, or I'm okay with my sexuality. But to be the gay brother, and me being able to talk to my brothers about the niggas I'm dating, and they talk to me about the girls they dating, and for us to be able to listen to this music, and for y'all to be able to get into the vibes, and just, it's not awkward or weird or anything. It's a vibe, My youngest brother, who is he's the baby twin, he's 14 years younger than me. He's now getting to that age where we can have a relationship, because I've been grown for too long. He was a baby for too long.
Yeah.
But he's like my secret find, because I've always been unique in my family.
Yeah.
And he's the first one. God waited until the last one to create somebody that was so much like me. But just for him to even be like this straight version of who I am, but he's calling me back because he had the sneak link to my album before it was out. So he's coming back. So look, I'm on this song right here. Hey, bro, he got me on the FaceTime. His friend in the car, and they both going crazy. And I'm just like, it's the most gratifying feeling in the world, to have that support. It really is.
You mentioned that your father was a pastor.
Yeah.
You know that King David in the Bible,
oh yes,
was a prolific lyricist and psalmist and musician, and quite loved by God the divine, quite anointed, and made mistakes, but God called him a man after his own heart.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is, that could be one look at the name and the title of who King David is.
Listen, you actually just hit the nail on the head.
Oh, okay.
You hit it on the absolute head.
Okay.
That's why I end every video with have a blessed, positive, productive, and last but certainly not least, encouraged day. Because beyond anything I'm talking about, the message is always still the same. Yeah. I am a messenger of God.
Yes.
Before anything else. Yes. God gave me gifts to serve him.
Yes.
These are not my gifts. My articulation, my intelligence, my looks, my talents are not mine. They're his. And God took me through a certain ringer in life that I don't take any of my gifts for granted, because there was a time when I didn't believe in any of the gifts that God gave me. It was news to me when I got it, So that's what King David is. Mm-hmm. I am, no cocky stuff, but just aware, I am intelligent, I'm attractive, I'm chiseled like David was chiseled. I try to bring praises to God like David brought praises to God, and that's what David was. He used all his gifts and abilities to bring God praise. It wasn't that he ain't have no things that was wrong. David killed a man's wife killed a man's husband, a woman's husband, in order to be with that woman. He had his stuff with him.
He did.
However, he was truly, truly a child of God, and was protected and guided by God. And that is what I represent.
And, I love that. I'm not Christian anymore, but I know it from cover to cover. God loved David so much that he sent Jesus through his line. It wasn't really Mary that the Immaculate Conception. Joseph was from the lineage of David.
Mm.
He was from the lineage. It was because of David's love and respect and connection to God that he said, hey, this is the woman you want to marry? Okay, I'll do it here. And 40, I think it's 40 and 2 generations later, something like that.
That's new information for me. Thank you for that.
Joseph was actually in the line of David. And, I love that we can talk like that, because for some reason, especially in my childhood, they didn't understand my flair, my homosexuality, my effeminacy, my use of every single crayon in my coloring book or coloring box, but still, be a child of God. Like that, like even with my work, I have done what I have done because God has been in it from the beginning.
Absolutely.
Like from the beginning, and it just continues to flourish. But that's a powerful name to have, and to also follow in those footsteps. I was told even when I was younger, you're going to be a psalmist like David, and the first thing I said was, Lord, don't let me. I don't want to be like him, because he did a whole bunch of other stuff. But I have done things. And God still shows up with that I love you with a perfect love. So is spirituality a really big thing with you? Because I know you said you're a messenger of God. Do you claim a religion?
I do. I mean, that's a complicated subject. Especially my dad is no longer a Christian. My dad has always been a source of my information and what I understand about the world. So that makes things a bit more light, but I still claim to, if I pick a title, I would call myself Christian. I pray to God and Jesus. But I'm much more of a spiritual person than I am a religious person at this stage in my life. Spirituality has been what set me free. But yes, I'm extremely, extremely spiritual. My life is through my spirit. Everything I choose to do or don't do is a spiritual choice. I had a lot of negativity happen to me, and I was a child, and I had adults that were trying to, like I said this in my height.
Okay, no problem. But I had adults in my childhood that were trying to bury me. They treated me like I was something that belonged in the ground. So of course, I left Christianity, but it was also because I don't like hypocrisy. I come from a family on my mother's side. All of her sisters, she has 2 sisters, 2 brothers. One brother is gone because of HIV and AIDS complications, but all of the uncles and aunts, all 4 of them were gay and lesbian. So you would think that when they saw me coming up, because I knew what I was from like maybe 2, 3, 4, and instead of embracing me and showing me the ropes, they were born again. They were, shedding this light. They were doing all of these things, and they attacked me and made fun of me. And these are the people that are supposed to be the closest to you, your family, your blood, part of your lineage, part of your clan. And I'll never forget, I was young, and they were like, you're going to end up in a dress, like you're going to end up selling cigars and cigarettes in a club. Like they would say things to me like that, and I can still hear it in my ears as a grown man of almost 40 years old. I'll be 40 this year. But it was so funny because that trauma, thank God for 15 years of therapy, but that trauma hindered me from, starting my career much earlier. When I went to Paris, when I went to Paris, they were telling me your bone structure, your body structure, your height, your everything, you need to be doing the women's shows. And it wasn't anything funny about it. It was, this is your body. You came to be a model. This is your body. You are not that, which is the big, robust, no, you are delicate, and you will make a lot of money if you lean into it. And I resisted it, and it made me sick, and I came home, and only to 15, 16, 17 years later, step into my purpose and be who I am. And now I'm in dresses and wigs, and and I believe in divine timing. I also like the fact that now I'm doing it because now I own it. And so I own my likeness, I own my intellect.